Hey, what's up? Today I got Richard, the CEO and founder of Leap AI, a platform that helps you use AI to make your job search 10 times easier and 10 times faster. And today he's going to share with us how to get a job in data science. And Richard has hired over 500 people at Google. So I don't think there's very many other people in the world as qualified as him to tell us how to become a data scientist. And so I'm going to have him answer 4 very key questions to keep this interview organized. And the first question that Richard is going to answer is, do you need a degree?
Well, on book, you don't. Many companies will say that you don't need a degree. But in reality, I don't think I have seen any data scientist who does not have a college degree though. So it really depends how you want to take it.
So it's possible, but what you're saying is you've never seen it actually happen. All the data scientists you've met have a degree. And do they have a PhD, a master's, or just a bachelor's?
So what I'm saying is I haven't seen anybody who does not have a degree. The reason why I have seen a bunch of software engineers who don't have a degree. Why? Software engineers, you just learn more like a practical use of programming language than build some stuff. But for data scientists, you do have a lot of math behind it. Without going to a college, it's hard for you to fully comprehend those, sciences behind it. So that's just need to be practical. Theoretically, you can, but in reality, you have to comprehend those type of maths behind it. In terms of degree, yes, indeed, I see a lot of PhDs and a bunch of masters. Probably there are also some, bachelors, especially once you have experience. Honestly, the degree does not matter that much.
Which bachelor's does someone get? And which master's, PhDs should people get if they want to become a data scientist? What's the best one?
Of course, stats.
There you go. Perfect. It'd be nice if there's a data science master's, right? But maybe that's coming to colleges soon.
Yeah.
All right. So the next question is, what do you think of data science boot camps? One of them being Galvanize, and I think there's a bunch of data science boot camps popping up, especially in San Francisco and New York now.
Yeah. So absolutely, they are very helpful. And so, of course, the best situation is that you get time to work on some real life projects. But if you don't have, for example, real life project, you go to a company, hey, I want to be an intern. Oh, I know even intern you cannot pay me. That's okay. I want to work for volunteer as a data scientist for you. But if you don't have those type of opportunities, but if you have some computer science, you have some science foundation, you can still go to a boot camp, then you really learn how to do those type of things. Pairing with your science foundation, you get equipped with the stuff, then you can still go for interviews.
Yeah, and I think we were talking before the interview that my friend, he went to coding data science boot camp, and he was able to get a job, and he got multiple job offers for data science. Because would you say, by the way, side question, but would you say that there's a lack of data scientists and there's more demand than there are data scientists right now?
Of course, absolutely, because the data volume is just growing much faster than anybody anticipated. So there are tons of data scientists need, and also more challenges. The industry even doesn't know how to evaluate a data scientist because they, starting from Google, from Facebook, people figure out a mechanism how to evaluate a software engineer. But data scientists, the people are still in the way of figuring out how to evaluate who has the potential to be a great data scientist.
Yeah. So by the way, so anyone out there, if you want a high-paying technical career and you studied something like chemistry, biology, physics, and you have a scientific mind, and you may have gotten a degree and couldn't get a good job afterwards. And I think that happens. That's a very common problem, right? I see so many people who study chemistry, biology, physics, 4.0 students, cum laude, summa cum laude, and yet they can't get a job because there's no demand for their skill. Do you think going to a data science boot camp is a good alternative for them so that they don't have to relearn the math, right? Because I mean, in those science classes, you go all the way up to linear algebra, so they're kind of starting data science with a step forward.
Yeah, so absolutely, definitely, you needed to have some kind of science foundation, especially the math foundation. Now, on top of that, then you go to a boot camp, and if at the same time you can find some real life projects, and you go to work with a company either as an intern or as a volunteer, and you get some real life experience, and you will be good.
All right, so that leads up to our next question. That we kind of covered over what happens if you're kind of screwed by studying a useless science degree. But say someone's just graduated. I'm sorry about that, but it's kind of true, right? It's just hard to get a job as a biology. I didn't create the career field. I didn't create the job market. It just is. But question number 3 is, if someone is brand new, just graduated high school, he's 18, what's the ideal path for someone who wants to get a job doing data science for a company like Google or any other first-tier tech company?
Oh, somebody just graduated from high school, huh? That's easy, right? The first one, go to a college, great college, to just study either stats or computer science. And in case those two departments you feel overly competitive, then you can get into some other science major that you are really interested. And then that's number one, just get into those majors. Number two, try to do as many interns as possible, as I said before. And while you were in sophomore or junior, and try to do the intern. If they don't pay you, that's okay. Being a volunteer, work on real life project is way more important than what you learn from class. Even for engineers, software engineers, working on real life projects. That's number two. Number three is basically when you graduate, if you don't have enough experiences, of course, attend some of these training camps, or you use whatever your skill to get a job, but within the company, you can transition to be a data scientist.
Well, from what I've seen, and we've interviewed someone previously on how to get a job in machine learning. And for anyone out there, machine learning, would you say machine learning is a subsection of data science? Is that true? Am I get that correct?
Probably would not say so though. So machine learning definitely, on the data machine learning domain, I probably play in this one, machine learning, and then you have machine learning engineer, they more focus on algorithms, those type of things. Then you also have a data scientist more focused on the data and come out with insights, then pairing with algorithms to get the final results.
So they're two different roles.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to data science, by the way, I'm learning something too, right? Because this is why I do the interviews. Because I thought machine learning was a subsection of data science. But
I think people may want to put it in a different way, right? So you ask me, and I see in this way, and other people could categorize in a different way. I think all of this are fine.
And so when it comes to what could give someone an edge, or the question is, what could give someone an edge when they're applying for internships or their first job, above the other students or the other graduates?
Well, I think the general sense is that you apply for any job, demonstrate you have the potential to be the best in that category. Right? If you apply to be a software engineer, you demonstrate you have the potential to be the best engineer. So now let's switch back to you apply for data scientist. Demonstrate you have the potential to be the best data scientist. So what takes? Yeah.
Question number 4 that we had, and perfect segue, which is, what does it take to be a great data scientist?
Well, I think that data scientist is one domain that people have missed understanding. People are still trying to figure out. Generally, what I have seen is number one, data scientists, they have to love data. They feel so passionate about data. They're just obsessed. Number two, unlike many other things, you have to generate your unique insight. I get tons of data. I look at it. I run some queries. I generate some unique insight. Unlike a software engineer, Matt writes some beautiful code and use it for one use case. I copy his code and use it for another use case. I created value. But for the same data, Matt observed with one insight. If I still observe the same insight, I don't add value. So basically, you gotta have the capability, able to see data, and get some unique insights.
Do you think that's a little bit of psychology that goes into there? Because usually the data you're observing is from people, right? So is there some psychology of what you're trying to figure out the user is doing?
Definitely with some of the experience about your intuition, definitely your experience, your lens of the world plays a role, right? The third piece about data scientists, everybody talk about all those things. It's all very cool, the fancy results, fancy algorithms. But in reality, you spend 90% of the time to clean the data. You just need to get the data, massage the data, make the data in the nice form, then spend 10% of the time to run algorithms to get the final results. So the really star data scientists, they're able to do, it has the patience to clean the data and also has the ability to do both data cleaning and also data modeling.
Oh, it's kind of like how software engineers spend 90% of their time debugging.
That's
Is
true.
it,
Yeah.
is it kind of similar in that it's just like it's the reality of it is you're massaging the data, cleaning the data, and so what you mean by that is what do you mean by that? Well, like in terms of slightly get us a little bit technical.
Yeah. So basically, you look at the data, you say, okay, this does not generate any pattern. So, and a lot of times, some of the data coming in, this data fields is missing, or this data collection is incorrect. So then you have to identify them and either exclude them or you fix them.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Richard, for sharing four four insights on getting a job in data science and becoming a data scientist. And if anybody out there wants to use AI to get a job in data science or get any technical job and also get a job in UX UI or any biz dev roles, Leap AI uses AI to help you land a job, make it 10 times easier, 10 times faster. And if you use my link in the description below, you'll get $500 when you land a job. So thanks, Richard, for your time, and it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you, Matt.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Richard. He left his senior executive role at Google to start a company called Leap AI, and it's a job searching platform that uses AI to make your job search 10 times easier and 10 times faster. And it is the first job searching platform to use AI, which means it gets more accurate as it collects more data from its users. So I actually negotiated a special deal with Leap AI where if you use my link to sign up for the platform, Leap AI will give you $500 after you land a job. So if you're ready to get your next job in tech, use my link in the description to sign up for Leap AI.